I'm giving myself permission to want things again. My desires aren't selfish. They are clues that God has placed in me about the life He's designed for me. That is today's declaration from the 30-day devotional that I created, the release, 30 days of letting go, moving forward, and trusting God's promises. I haven't talked to y'all in a couple of days, and it's been a really great week. I've had ups and downs, but if I had to come up with a theme for this week, it would be friendship and sisterhood. That has definitely been the theme of this week. I have talked to girlfriends every day this week, in-depth conversations, supportive, lending and listening ear, venting, crying, you name it. We've all done it. This morning, I had my Zoom call with my ladies from Chiang Mai. And today's call was the longest that I've ever been on one. I missed a couple of calls when I was traveling, but today we were on for like 3 hours and we all needed it. It's just really something about sisterhood and friendship and being able to show up as you are, show up unapologetically, having people hold space for you. That's what this week has been for me, and that I have provided it for others. It has been beautiful. We're at the age now that we are all transitioning in some way, shape, or form, whether, we're all transitioning physically because we got the peri or menopause. And, some of us are transitioning through relationships or, physical spaces. One of my girls moved from Asia and now she's in Colombia. Some other friends had some things going on and are learning how to move differently. It's just been, transition, health related issues, you name it. We are all going through a transitional phase, maybe coming out of burnout and transitioning into the what now. There's so many things that, each person's journey is totally different, but we're all in the midst of transition. And so when I was talking to one of my girls, she said, yeah, I just want the old me back. Another one said, I want to get back to normal. What is normal? Because what life has taught me and continues to teach me is that normal is normal for right now because it's going to shift. It's going to change. Last night, I put on some R. Kelly. I put on TP2.com and I was jamming because that was a period in my life where two of my other girls, we were thick as thieves. We're still all tight. But we used to get in the car, we would bump it, strip for you, and I don't mean it. R. Kelly was pouring his heart out. I might say you could walk, I don't mean it. Shoot, we used to put it on and, be having a good old time, singing our hearts out. And so I put that on because I just needed to go back to that time in my life where I felt like I didn't have any cares. No cares in the world. I was just kicking it with my girls. And I was even a mother at that time. My daughter was alive and well, maybe 4? So, I wasn't, I was a whole mom of a toddler. But that's what music does for me sometimes. It takes me back to a time in my life. My friend who said she wants her old self back, I think she wants pieces of it. And, because I don't want to go back to, the old me who hadn't become wiser, but I do want to go back to a more freer me, a more unapologetic me, one who hasn't gotten beat up by life, so to speak. And I haven't been beat up, but life has a way of chipping away at you if you aren't careful, if you aren't watching, what happens and how you feel, and you aren't healing, you begin to just let it chip away at you. And that's not a good place to be at. I think that's how burnout and other things happen, that you're running around on autopilot and not living an intentional life. And I think that a lot of it is attributed to wearing different roles. The role of a wife, the role as a mother, all of these things where you've forgotten who you are as the individual. And so often when I'm talking to my friends, I think that there's this guilt for wanting something. We don't give ourselves permission. We make excuses, or we feel guilt for wanting things. I know I do. And that's something that we have to let go. And so this devotion really, really speaks to me today, because I have to remember to give myself permission. And it is a clue that God has placed in me for a life that He has designed, and I have to step into that life. So I'm excited. I'm intimidated sometimes by what my potential could be. But I'm learning to, as always, move through the uncomfortable periods, move into the unknown, and try to, walk boldly into it. Because I'm going to tell you, each time, I'll say this and I'm going to keep saying it, each time that I have gone through a tough situation or a really uncomfortable situation, I have been stretched. I have been grown, or I grow. And that's what I want to encourage you with. I want to encourage you to be okay with desiring something else. Give yourself permission. Don't feel guilt. Don't minimize what it is that you want. Walk into your destiny and celebrate those friendships. I've seen so many posts this week about friends, and I'm thankful that I have some really great friends. I'm grateful that I have some friends who I've grown up with, who have been friends for decades. I'm grateful for the new friends and sisters that I have, the people that I met online and were strangers that have now become family, who hold space for me, who are there for me. So I'm thankful for that. That would not have happened if I didn't start walking and choosing things for myself and what I wanted, not for anybody else, but just for me. So I encourage you today to be okay with wanting things. Make a list of what it is that you want, and watch what God does with it. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you soon.